don't want to lose any more time.
We are recording then, as we speak.
Welcome everyone to the forum on spiritual poetry. The way we generally operate is, in this case, I'll begin with one poem, and allowing the space between offerings is always helpful. But as you feel led and as you have something to share, you can jump in after that first poem, and we'll go until about 10 minutes before the end of the forum. And so we'll have some time to translate and transition, and other people will be joining us probably around that time. So we'll try and complete our sharing by about 10 of 11. So welcome everyone. I'll start with a little moment of silence, and then I want to share a poem that I think speaks to the overall climate and time that we are in relation to how to stay aware and compassionate. So we can enter into some worship. This poem is from Zen Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, and I think it expands our awareness in so many different ways. Please call me by my true names. Don't say that I will depart tomorrow. Even today, I'm still arriving. Look deeply. Every second I am arriving. To be a bud on a spring branch, to be a tiny bird with still fragile wings, learning to sing in my new nest, to be a caterpillar in the heart of a flower, to be a jewel hiding itself in a stone. I still arrive in order to laugh and to cry, to fear and to hope. The rhythm of my heart is the birth and death of all that is alive. I am a mayfly metamorphosing on the surface of the water. I am the bird that swoops down to swallow the mayfly. I am a frog swimming happily in the clear water of a pond, and I am the grass snake that silently feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, my legs as thin as bamboo sticks. And I am the arms merchant selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl refugee on a small boat who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. And I am the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. I am a member of the Politburo with plenty of power in my hands, and I am the man who has to pay his debt of blood to my people dying slowly in a forced labor camp. My joy is like spring, so warm it makes flowers bloom all over the earth. My pain is like a river of tears, so vast it fills the four oceans. Please call me by my true names, so that I can hear all my cries and laughter at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true names, so I can wake up and the door of my heart could be left open, the door of compassion. When you're ready to share, you will need to unmute yourself and then remute yourself after sharing. Thank you.
Well, I have a poem by a poet named Vasco Papa, Vaskopopa. He was a Serbian of a Romanian descent, influenced by surrealism. And I like this poem. It's called "The Craftsman of the Little Box" because it reminds me of the Jewish concept of tikkun olam. Tikkun olam means repair of the world. The idea being that, well, there's a couple ways of looking at it. We need to engage in social justice practices in order to pave the way for the Messiah's return. Another way of looking at it is that we're continually engaged in co-creation of the world with God through acts of compassion, loving mercy, and of course that's a Christian concept. But so this is called "The Craftsman of the Little Box." Don't open the little box. The cap of heaven will drop out. Don't close her for any reason. She'll bite through the trouser leg of eternity. Don't drop her on the ground. The sun's eggs will break inside her. Don't throw her in the air. Earth's bones will break inside her. Don't hold her in your hands. The starry dough will go sour inside her. What are you doing? For heaven's sake, don't let her out of your sight.
Went to unmute myself and found that I was unmuted, so I hope I haven't been making any noise that disturbs anyone. But I have this little book that I've had since I was in my early 20s, and it's Zen Telegrams by Paul Reps, and they're just tiny poems, 2 or 3 words, and a little brush drawing with each one. And I haven't brought them to one of these poetry sessions before because, you know, it wouldn't be easy to share the drawings, but I figured on Zoom it might be a little easier. So let me show you. Now this is a funny one because you have to remember that this was published in the 50s. Okay, so it says, "Please telephone me in the rice field," which of course at the time you couldn't. So "please telephone me in the rice field," I think means, you know, just, and here is Turtle explaining, act, don't act. A nice Zen thought. Maybe one more while we're at it. Let's see. Oh, this poor old book is beginning to fall apart. There we go. Consciousness delighting as crane. Oh, one more. It was just on the opposite page. Grain of sand spins around.
Hi, I have a poem by Thomas Merton. It's called In Silence. Um, Be still, listen to the stones of the wall. Be silent. They try to speak your name. Listen to the living walls. Who are you? Who are you? Whose silence are you? Who, be quiet, are you? Are these stones are quiet? Do not think of what you are, still less of what you may one day be. Rather, be what you are, but who? Be the unthinkable one you do not know. Oh, be still while you are still alive, and all things live around you, speaking, I do not hear, to your own being, speaking by the unknown that is in you and in themselves. I will try, like them, to be my own silence. And this is difficult. The whole world is secretly on fire. The stones burn, even the stones they burn me. How can a man be still or listen to all things burning? How can he dare to sit with them when all their silence is on fire?
I have a poem to share. This is a poem that was shared with me by a wise friend when we were trying to create a performance about prayer. It's called A Poem Without an End by Yeshuda Amichai, which I think is Israeli.
You can be without visual, but you can't be without.
Inside the brand new museum, there's an old synagogue. Inside the synagogue is me. Inside me, my heart. Inside my heart, a museum. Inside the museum, a synagogue. Inside it, me. Inside me, my heart. Inside my heart, a museum.
Good morning, all. I was still muted, even though my lips were moving. I have a couple poems that I have written amongst many during our 3 months of sequestration. One's rather lighthearted, and the other one's more serious. There's the word. Looking for words here. This one's called Phoenix Rising, which came to me just a couple of days ago, actually. Faced with such onerous mendacity, we reach for the truth with tenacity. This chaos resulting from corruption calls the people into democratic eruption. While the thieves and the thugs of this oligarchy arrogantly poised to make their recovery are destined to face the people's history with an official story of denial assumed by their plutocracy on trial, as their falsehoods and their lies, which belie a conspiracy of hypocrisies, stand in awe of our Phoenix rising out of the ashes of despairing, into a future of compassionate caring, fully alive, brandishing justice on its wings, flying high into a firmament of truth and liberty. Oh, yes, our phoenix of justice, our future belongs to thee. This one's called Home Free. I also called it Mother Earth, Father Sky. We are said to be made in his image, but my wife is clearly made in her image. I'm sure of this because every time I make a mistake, she says, just ask me for directions next time. The sacred feminine is what I'm referring to. It informs my way of relating to our planet. Mother Earth is our home. She is the spiritual connection I have to my nature. The sacred masculine is what my Lord and Savior is all about. It informs my way of relating to everyone on our planet, including planet Earth itself. So next time I need directions, I'll refer to my wife and to my God. Since they are both created in his and in her image, I'm home free.
I have one. This poem is by Thomas Nash from 1600, and it is a spiritual poem. It's not really happy. It's kind of sad and drama, but it was maybe the first poem I liked enough to pay much attention to. So I'm going to read it since there aren't any kids here today. It's called A Litany in Time of Plague. Wait a minute here. I want to step out first. Okay, there we go. Adieu, farewell, earth's bliss. This world uncertain is. Fond our life's lustful joys. Death proves them all but toys. None from his darts can fly. I am sick, I must die. Lord, have mercy on us. Rich men trust not in wealth. Gold cannot buy you health. Physic himself must die. All things to end are made. The plague full swift goes by. I am sick, I must die. Lord, have mercy on us. Beauty is but a flower which wrinkles will devour. Brightness falls from the air. Queens have died young and fair. Dust hath closed Helen's eye. I am sick, I must die. Lord, have mercy on us. Strength stoops unto the grave. Worms feed on Hector brave. Swords may not fight with fate. Earth still holds open her gate. Come, come, the bells do cry. I am sick, I must die. Lord, have mercy on us. Wit with his wantonness tasteth death's bitterness. Hell's executioner hath no fears for to hear. Hath no ears for to hear. What vain art can reply? I am sick, I must die. Lord, have mercy on us. Haste, therefore, each degree to welcome destiny. Heaven is our heritage, earth but a player's stage. I am sick, I must die. Lord, have mercy on us. That's it.
Maybe I'll share my poem next. I feel like this one is a good and interesting counterpoint to the one that Paul just read. It's a hymn to Venus by the poet Lucretius, and it sort of opens up his a book, The Nature of Things. Life-stirring Venus, mother of Aeneas and of Rome, pleasure of men and gods, you make all things beneath the dome. Of sliding constellations teem, you throng the fruited earth and the ship-freighted sea. For every species comes to birth, conceived through you, and rises forth and gazes on the light. The winds flee from you, goddess. Your arrival puts to flight the clouds of heaven. For you, the crafty earth contrives sweet flowers. For you, the oceans laugh, the skies grow peaceful after showers, awash with light. For soon as morning wears the face of spring, and the west wind is free and freshens, warm and quickening, the airy tribe of birds, O Holy One, is first to start, heralding your approach, struck with your power through the heart. Then beasts, the wild and tame alike, go romping after the lush pasture land and swim across the river's headlong rush. So eagerly does each pant after you. So do they heed, caught in the chains of love, and follow you wherever you lead. All through the seas and mountains, torrents, leafy roofed abodes, the birds and greening meadows, your delicious yearning goads the breasts of every creature, and you urge all things to find, lustily to get new generations of their kind. Because alone you steer the nature of things upon its course, and nothing can arise without you on life's shining shores, and nothing glad or lovely can be fashioned. I invite you, goddess, stand beside me, be my partner as I write the nature of things. These verses I am striving to set down for Memmius, my friend, your favorite, whom you would crown with every honor and with everlasting accolades, more reason to endow my words with grace that never fades.
I'd like to share a short poem that used to be up on the bulletin board of the Peace and Social Concerns bulletin board in the Friends Meeting House. And it's by Zawadi Nikuze. She is from People's Democratic Republic of Congo, and some of us remember her visits. She's been to our meeting twice. On behalf of Friends Peace Team's African Great Lakes Initiative. It's called Dream of Peace. I dream of a world full of love, a world free from screams, a world free from cries. I dream of a world full of love. War is not the answer. War is just pain and sorrow. War shuts dreams of tomorrow. War tears people in pieces. Let us join hands together in unity. We must rid ourselves of vanity and embrace peace through humanity. We all must care, for we have the ability.
this poem is about dreams as well. Our friend Jane Levan posted it on Facebook a couple of days after the murder of George Floyd. The title is Harlem by Langston Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat? Or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode?
I would like to share what an applicant at Austin Seminary shared when I was part of the admissions team. He later became a student and graduated this year. His name is Dane Jones. And before he came to seminary, he was a medic for the prisoners in Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. He came to deeply respect the devotion of the Muslim prisoners. And he said, "The darkness can consume you, but once you see the light, there is no denial."
I have another one I can share, sort of continuing on the theme, what seems to be a theme of this morning, of hope in times of danger and trouble. This is by Adam Zagajewski, a Polish poet who was part of the Polish New Wave in 1968. It's called Try to Praise the Mutilated World. Try to praise the mutilated world. Remember June's long days, and wild strawberries, drops of wine, the dew, the nettles that methodically overgrow the abandoned homesteads of exiles. You must praise the mutilated world. You watched the stylish yachts and ships. One of them had a long trip ahead of it, while salty oblivion awaited others. You've seen the refugees heading nowhere. You've heard the executioners sing joyfully. You should praise the mutilated world. Remember the moments when we were together in a white room and the curtain fluttered. Return in thought to the concert where music flared. You gathered acorns in the park in autumn and leaves eddied over the earth's scars. Praise the mutilated world and the gray feather a thrush lost, and the gentle light that strays and vanishes and returns.
If I may, I have another one here. It's called Amazing Grace. Not a unique title, but that's what I've called it. Woke up in the middle of the night, realized how lucky I am. I'm not spending the night under a bridge, but comfortable in my own bed with my wife and my dog by my side. I'm privileged, I'm safe, I'm free. But do I dare say it? Is it not a shame for us to be so when others are not? I could have been one of the ones gone to Iraq or Afghanistan, only to find my way back home without a home in the country I fought for, fighting for life, liberty, and prosperity, only to find the opposite, a world of bondage to poverty and lawmakers whose only motivation is the pursuit of money. While we fought for their freedom to keep me a slave to theirs. How can this be? I was young and strong and free. Now I'm sold to the highest bidder. My body's pain will be delivered when my soul is finally free again. Providence, have mercy on them, the slave and the slave master. Both souls yearning to be free, both souls incarcerated until their bondage is lifted and amazing grace is gifted.
You've inspired me. I think I'd like to share a poem of my own that I also wrote during quarantine. I mentioned that I found this labyrinth near my home, and I wrote this in the center of the labyrinth one day. It's the first pass at something. Brightness, and a rock too low by 6 inches, the Baptist air conditioner, a trailer, and kids' bikes with kids with helmets. Will my skin withstand where I am? Even on this morning hour, my edges may blacken and crisp. Will my yoke survive? I am alone in my marriage. I am the memory of a teacher. Why do I keep buying books? Can my emails see me? Will this maze of rocks clean me and let me live? One way in only, one way out. But only if I'm obedient. This is a wise maze, a large sharp bush with bees in it, and the boxes they live in reach across the outermost path. Because of this bush, I am unable to obey the space, its order, and break the maze to complete it. The lids of the bees' homes are weighted in place by the same stones that lead my life into symmetrical and incomplete rings. The stones possess weight and are many, and are worthless, except to bees and practice.
I have one from Langston Hughes. It's a little long, but I hope you'll enjoy it. It speaks to me of the thing I've been thinking about a lot lately, and why I didn't see it earlier. It's vice versa to Bach, theme for English B. The instructor said, go home and write a page tonight, and let that page come out of you, then it will be true. I wonder if it's that simple. I am 22, colored, born in Winston-Salem. I went to school there, then Durham, then here, to this college on the hill in Harlem. I'm the only colored student in my class. The steps from the hill lead down into Harlem, through a park, then I cross St. Nicholas, 8th Avenue, 7th, and I come to the Y, the Harlem branch Y, where I take the elevator up to my room, sit down, and write this page. It's not easy to know what is true for you or me at age 22, my age, but I guess I'm what I feel and see and hear. Harlem, I hear you, hear me. We two, you, me talk on this page. I hear you, New York, too. Me, who? Well, I like to eat, sleep, drink, and be in love. I like to work, read, learn, and understand life. I like a pipe for a Christmas present, or records, Bessie, Bop, or Bach. I guess being colored doesn't make me not like the same things as other folks who are of other races. So will my page be colored that I write? Being me, it will not be white, but it will be a part of you, instructor. You are white, yet a part of me as I am a part of you. That's American. Sometimes perhaps you don't want to be part of me, nor do I often want to be part of you, but we are, that's true. As I learn from you, I guess you learn from me, although you're older and white and somewhat more free. This is my page for English B.
I have a short poem by E.E. Cummings, perhaps not 100% correctly memorized, but here it goes. Me up at does, out of the floor, solemnly stare, a poisoned mouse, silently asking, what have I done that you wouldn't have?
I have a brief one by Kabir, who is a 15th century Hindu poet with a lot of ties to Islam as well. And this one, I mean, it sounds like if one of those 17th century Quakers went and became a Zen master, he would talk like this. The guest is inside you and also inside me. You know the sprout is hidden inside the seed. We are all struggling. None of us has gone far. Let your arrogance go and look around inside. The blue sky opens out further and further. The daily sense of failure goes away. The damage I have done to myself fades. A million suns come forward with light when I sit firmly in that world. I hear bells ringing that no one has shaken. Inside, love is there, more joy than we know of. Rain pours down, although the sky is clear of clouds. There are whole rivers of light. The universe is shot through in all parts by a single sort of love. How hard it is to feel that joy in all our four bodies. Those who hope to be reasonable about it will fail. The arrogance of reason has separated us from that love. The word reason you already feel miles away. How lucky Kabir is that surrounded by all this joy, he sings inside his own little boat. His poems amount to one soul meeting another. These songs are about forgetting, dying, and loss. They rise above both coming in and going out.
Perhaps that's a good way to go out. I have one other poem that came to me that I'll share. And I was sitting in meeting and thinking about what I'm doing in meeting. It's called Sitting into the Silence. I sit in silence to reduce the noise and distractions that fill my daily life. I sit in silence to release the tensions that hold me in their grip. I sit in silence to remove myself from the demands of the external and internal worlds. I also sit to settle into another place, another space. The silence I seek is more than the absence of noise, tension, demands. It is the presence that lies beneath, beyond, within them. The silence welcomes me when I choose to listen. And sometimes I do. And we can begin to make the transition in preparation for our own listening and worship. Thank you, friends. We'll remain at this spot for meeting for worship.